Welcome everybody to another episode of Hard Reads, where I, TKbreezy and Austy, will talk to you about things going on in the Smash community. Obviously, things that have been going on in the Smash community as of late have been very trash, and the only one good silver lining that I think we have is that Min Min dropped, and I can't really even call that a silver lining because most of y'all didn't want that character anyway. So, yeah, here we are, man. I'm TKbreezy. That's Austy. How you doing, man?
I don't know, man. Like, it's pretty shitty day, pretty shitty week, pretty shitty year. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah, it just doesn't really seem to be getting better either, and
yeah.
that's kind of trash. I can't feel it really find a an upside to what's going on. The only upside that I see as of right now is that like once tournament starts up, a lot of people who were causing problems will be gone. But at the same time, I don't see where this causes more problems not to arise because it spans from everywhere now. You know, you got people of no power, you have people of immense power all getting called out. So it's not like it's just the people, the low lives or whatever. It's like prominent people, and then first time Tony guards are all like no one is safe. So yeah, man. Just I hope that it does um this does lead to some reform of some type. But as of right now, I don't fucking see it. Don't see it.
I do, but it's gonna be a long time. I see this as a very painful way to get this get the bad seeds out of the community and to show that there's gonna be zero tolerance for this in the future. I think this is not just a Smash problem. It's obviously happening in Smash a lot recently. Like, a lot of people are coming out. I think it's a world problem, and it's very prominent in things that don't really have, like, I guess, a set of rules that are grassroots. I guess I think it's a very grassroots thing because FGC is also being affected by similar stuff. So uh, I think this is gonna pave a way because people are becoming more and more brave to be able to, like, put their stories out there, and that's a good thing that they're able to get this stuff off their chest.
Yeah.
It's so painful though, for like the pain that we feel is nowhere near how much pain the victims feel. Obviously, like they have the most, but when you have people that you genuinely consider your friend, like multiple people, for me personally, I considered were my friend and I trusted them. When these stories come out about them, it makes you feel some type of way.
That senpai shit hurts, man.
Yeah.
Um, Me and senpai are very close.
Hmm.
I mean, to an extent, we probably still are, but like I now have to distance myself from her because of the situation. Like I don't want to appear as an apologist or anything like that. But the thing is, like, obviously I'm still processing over the fact that like someone that I've known for years, someone that like I was happy that they decided to start commentating, someone that like I helped get gigs, someone that like I helped with commentary in general, turns out to be to have done what she has done. And so like when I first, this came out a while ago. When I first read it, she was like, obviously don't believe it, whatever. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Like she said it. No one's really disputing the claim. It must be true. And now after reading, Puppet's twit longer in very vivid detail, without him even talking about everything that was happening, like even he said, like, I don't want to talk about literally every circumstance, but here are some of the examples. Like I couldn't do anything but not believe it and not feel betrayed and not feel like I don't know. Like I don't feel like I contributed to it because obviously that stuff happened before everything. But I also feel like, I look back on certain moments that happened that people were describing and stuff, and I like look at it differently. Like I did. Obviously I was at Xanadu when they first started showing up at Xanadu, and I did see them being a little buddy and whatever. But I thought it was more like a, like a big sister thing. Like this is I'm taking care of this little dude because he's young, and I'm like a big sister to him. But now, after reading everything and seeing everything, it doesn't appear like that to me anymore. And that sucks. That I feel like if that was reversed as far as genders, I think we all would have said something. We all would have been like, "Wow, why is this 24-year-old dude, being all touchy feely with this 14-year-old girl?" But unfortunately, it's one of those things that it's one of those things that will always get kind of overlooked because, yeah, most of the time the women are not the abusers. I mean, like when you look at the statistics, obviously most women are not. When it comes to abuse case, men largely inhibit that area, but it doesn't mean that I should turn a blind eye to what may look wrong just because it is a woman. And that's like an eye-opening lesson for me, is that like now I have to see things from both sides uh better. I didn't do a good job of it before, and this has taught me that I definitely need to do a better job of it in the future.
And that right there is a pro. Like the fact that you're learning from it, I'm learning from it, we're all learning from these experiences to start to look out for stuff like that. Because, like you said, dude, like if you saw something like that, you would instantly, big sister, looking out for this little kid, But it raises. It's so difficult in this scene when like there's so many kids, there's so many people under the age of 18 hanging out with adults. Like both you and I have talked about how sometimes it feels weird for us to be in the Smash scene a bit because we feel like we don't really connect with the new crowd anymore because there's such a large age gap. So, but it's still fun to go to the events because we usually just hang out with, you know, us and people our age. And then, if we ever interact with someone that's younger, we're just like, I don't know, it feels awkward. So when I see an adult getting that close with a kid, and then also have ulterior motives, because it's not just Senpai. There's so many others that have so many other
I mean, there's been a
stories.
lot. There's
Yeah,
definitely been a lot of Twitloggers that have come out. She just happened to be the one that hit the closest to home for me. Like I definitely saw the one with Fruit and Vinya and all that good stuff.
yeah.
The faux thing resurfaced recently. Um, there's one with Focus. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot out there. It's hard to keep up with, but with every Twitlonger, like I'm glad that these people are stepping forward, but I'm also like exhausted that I lived in this community not knowing any of these things,
Yeah,
and to an extent, I really feel like that COVID uh influenced a lot of this, because I feel like a lot of these people might have stayed silent if we were still going to tournaments, and we would have just kind of still had people doing shitty shit in the background or whatever. But once the movement started and people started to get more comfortable with telling their stories and shit, um I feel like the fact that we're not going to tournaments is allowing more people to like think about shit that has happened to them at tournaments and realize like stuff is not okay. I just saw that Sleepy K one. That one kind of threw me for a loop because, again, for the longest I've known Sleepy K, I never really saw. I mean, he's been an advocate for against all of that shit. Like, oh, don't let abusers in the community, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. And then it comes out that he's also trying to sleep with a 14-year-old, and I'm like, and the worst part about his is that even if that were to happen today, that person is still underage. So it doesn't fucking matter. Like you're like extra gross. You know what I mean? It's 2020 and we're still talking about someone being underage when you were looking at them and they were 14. I'm good, man.
yeah. The J Tails one really fucked me up.
Mm, mm.
I consider myself close with him when he was living in New York City. So, and I like the thought didn't even enter my brain that he was
Yeah,
capable of stuff like that.
yeah,
And it's like J Tails, Venia, Senpai, on a lesser scale because they're not into the Smash scene. DM Brandon, like there's all those people I did consider my friends, and now it's like who do I trust anymore? Like it's those are people that I thought I knew, and apparently I did not. And
yeah, yeah. Um, I feel like I feel like right now, one thing that I've definitely like taken away from this and entire thing is, yeah, you really can't, you really don't. It's like, who can you trust? And like, I thought that I was, I had a good circle, but even then, like now I'm kind of like, is my, now I'm looking at like everybody and everything and, everything that has happened over the last few years and whatnot. And I'm just like, I put a tweet out that was like, I've been here since I was 18. I'm now about to turn 31 on the 27th. And one thing that I've noticed is that I've grown up, obviously like I'm not the same person I was 18 at all, but I feel like a lot of people they didn't do that. Like, I feel like a lot of people find certain stuff okay, like, like hanging out with underage people. I don't want to do that. Like, I never, ever want to like, I never ever want to like just me and like 17-year-olds hanging out in the room. Like, I don't want that. First of all, it doesn't look good. And second, I just couldn't imagine anything good coming from that. So as you grow up, you need to, kind of change your ways. Like, I obviously have no issue with younger people. I will talk to a lot of young people because they're fans of mine, and like I get that. But that's where it ends. Like, I don't, hey man, big fan of your commentary. Thanks. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for watching Smash and whatever. After that, we're not gonna have a personal relationship. I don't want that. I don't want to have a personal relationship with a 16-year-old, male or female. Like, that's not like in my immediate family or some shit like that. So yeah, like now that I'm 30, I don't want to hang out with anyone that's not of legal drinking age, basically. And even then, like I think about the fact that like I barely want to hang out with people under like 24. You know what I mean? But it seems that as though people think that like they've kind of like put that to the side because, oh, we're all here for the same thing. Yeah, I'm down to play friendlies with you for sure. Like, yeah, we can do that, whatever. I don't care how old you are. We can get some friendlies in. But when it comes time to do out of tournament shit, no, we're not hanging out. I'm going to a bar. You're going to go play more friendlies or whatever. I'm going to my hotel room to hang out with other 30 to 25-year-olds. You're going to go play more friendlies with your 16 to 17-year-old friends. Like that, there doesn't need to be a guideline for it. There should just be common sense and understanding that some shit is not going to be kosher and not going to look good, for you. And you're going to put yourself in bad situations just from, existing like that. You want to play friendlies with people, go to the fucking venue. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for no reason should I be hanging out when I'm trying to like, party and stuff at the end of the tournament. There's no reason I should be hanging out with a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds, being the only one drinking or some shit like that. No, I'm good.
Do you think that when locals come back for Smash that we should like introduce new rules? Like if you're a minor, you have to bring a parent. Should there be leagues where only kids are allowed to enter for certain events, and then one event that only you have to be 18 or older to enter this event? Like, do you think there needs to be?
No, I don't think we should age gate.
Yeah.
The community should be open to everyone. It's just the adults need to be held accountable for being adults, and that's the real issue. Is that yeah, we don't have good adults. Like, we don't have enough good adults. Like, we obviously have good adults and good role models and shit like that, but we don't have enough good adults to make the shit right. I think, and I fell into that category for a little bit too, because like I feel like I've seen shit and I wouldn't say anything, but now I'm like way more outspoken about it. So if I see some creepy shit, I'm gonna say it. Hey, bro, why are you, why are all your friends 16 and you're 35? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking weird. You know what I mean? But yeah, we don't have good adults. And I thought about this the other day, is that like I feel like the code of conduct or the panel is redundant, because the like I see what they're trying to do is good. I'm not gonna say like it's a bad thing. I think it's redundant for the sole fact that like if everyone had common sense, there would be no need for a code of conduct. What's right and wrong. That the things you're doing are right and wrong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be trying to hide it. Obviously, one of the things that we saw where a lot of this stuff is going down in DMs because it's wrong, and that's why you won't put it on your timeline. You won't tell that 16-year-old girl she looks pretty on your timeline because it's fucking wrong. So if people would hold themselves more accountable and realize that the shit that they're doing is wrong, then yeah, the code of conduct wouldn't even need to exist, because you would have people holding themselves and each other accountable. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Like, we don't have that. And so that's why the code of conduct has to exist as of right now, because for some reason we're still policing people of legal drinking age. We're still policing people who can rent cars, who can buy hotels, and all that good stuff over their conduct with people who are still in high school. Like that makes no fucking sense to me, man.
I mean, that's just society in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's scumbags everywhere. There's gonna be scumbags even in the future. Like I'm sure there's gonna be scumbags trying to do something in the future in the Smash scene. But I think people just need to look out for each other. Like you said, we need to call out the bullshit when we see it, because I feel like they're back in the olden days, like when Brawl, Melee, like back then. Like I never really witnessed anything, but I heard so many stories. I heard so many stories from like the early like 2008, 2009, 2010 stuff. And I was like, "Wow, that's weird and creepy." And that's all it left. It didn't go anywhere. And I don't even remember the stories at this point because I feel some of them probably have already come to light. But it's just like, wow, like maybe we should start giving these rumors that go around a little bit more severity. And I think it comes with growth. Like it's been 10 years. Like the Smash scene has grown up a bit, kind of, with the new kids coming onto the block. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, this shit's unacceptable, and it's gonna continue happening unless we do something about it. And I don't know what that thing is besides holding people accountable, taking shit more seriously. I'm glad people are taking it more seriously now. That's another thing. That's another positive thing coming from this. Because I feel like if this shit happened 4 years ago, like it would not nearly have been like this outspoken for people. This many people like coming to their defense.
Yeah, but also I feel like it's being magnified because we're stuck online. I feel like I didn't have
Right.
to pay so much attention to the Smash community before because I was going to tournaments. That was when I was getting my like dosage. Every other week I was at another tournament. So like, yeah, man, I may have missed that one time that Nairo got second between Genesis and Frostbite or whatever the fuck, but like still, like I know just about everything else. Now that everything is online, all we're talking about is what's going on online, and everyone's complaining and everyone's bitter and everyone is shitty, and because of that, like now it's just like that's all you see. I haven't seen a good thing about Smash in a while. Even with Min Min coming out, people were still shitty over that, and that's in and out the game. Like not only is the game state shitty, but the community state is shitty on both sides. This isn't a Smash Ultimate exclusive thing. Obviously, Sleepy K is a Melee member. It's just the community in general. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but the world's like that. But that's like I don't like that argument because like we know the world's fucked up, and I wish that I could fight the world as vehemently as I'm fighting the Smash community. But the thing is that I am within the Smash community a lot. Like I am invested into the Smash community a lot. So I will be a little more harsh on the Smash community because these are things that I can actively fix. I cannot go out on my front porch and start yelling, stop harassing women, and then someone's going to hear me and be like, yeah, you're right, my bad. But I can go to a tournament and yell that shit, and someone is going to hear me, and they're going to have to respect that. So yeah, I mean, yes, the whole world is shitty, and these are just the community is just a small section, a small piece of the world. But I can only fix one thing at a time, and right now I'm going to fix the thing that I'm mostly invested in, that I haven't been invested in or 10 years, and that's the Smash community. Now, once things start to look good here, obviously, we'll take that fight outside, elsewhere. And it's not like this is the only thing that I've been seeing either. Obviously, I'm part of the Twitch community as well. I've seen a lot of Twitlongers and articles coming out about the Twitch sexual harassment. I've seen that shit actually coming in directly from the company. Like, there's a lot that is wrong, but I can't fix everything. So I have to start somewhere. And right now I'm starting with what's closest to me. And that is the Smash community and Twitch. And we'll go from there. You know what I mean? We'll go from there.
I think a lot of people are intimidated to like bring an experience up if say the accuser is like has a huge following, has over 50K followers or something like that, and the person who wants to speak up about it has less than 200. You know, I think that would be an issue in the past, but I think people are more and more accepting of that. And also on top of that, this is happening at a local level. So that's where it starts. I think it starts by like I don't know if you saw, but HO3K in New York City made a tweet about like having a tip line for if anything's going on or if you suspect anything or whatever, please notify us and we'll put it underneath the microscope and try to examine see what's actually going on here. And I think that's where it starts, that all locals need to have something like that in place. Because while this may happen at majors, the most prominent spots all of these have been happening at are small local events. You know? So there's a start. Like anyone can do it. You don't have to have a big following. You don't have to have a huge following in order to make a difference. You just gotta care about your scene.
Yeah. I see some people in the chat talking about the Gimmer thing, so I'll bring that to light. The Gimmer thing has actually been a long going discussion. That shit actually happened in the PM eras. He refuted those claims. It got deaded. And the only reason it's being brought up is because the person who brought it up still has a vendetta against Gimmer. So they're going to paint Gimmer in a way. Now, I don't know the full specifics of it, but it got deaded when it was first introduced back in like 2014 or whatever year that was. As Samaya was vindictive against Gimmer because they were breaking up because of whatever, their relationship issues were. And she did do some vindictive stuff. She had his password. She threatened to delete all his videos and shit like that off VG Bootcamp, which would have been a major blow, obviously, to his income and all that good stuff. Now, I don't know if there's any new allegations, so I'm not gonna like dive too deep into it. Maybe she actually has some new information that was going to change things. But as of what I know, that was the accusation was false, and there wasn't much said after that. So that's going to be a thing that you guys are going to have to wait until Gimmer decides to come out with, if he decides to come out with anything. We haven't talked about it. The only thing I did know was what happened before 6 years ago or 4 years ago, however long it was. I don't remember. It was 4 to 6 years though. So that's all I can really say on that, man. Sorry, I don't have a better, a more clear, concise answer on that. But if it comes out that like the shit is true, then yeah, I'm gonna have to distance myself from him too. I'm not picking any sides here except for the right side. Me and Gamer have been friends for 11 years. I'm part of VG Bootcamp, but if this shit were to come out to be true, I would resign for sure. Like there's nothing else to be said right there. So,
right. And I think something that's really important to note is people need to, it's good for people to like believe stories, like believe the victims. It's good to like get on their sides and stuff. One thing that's really important is that I think we need to stop jumping the shark on this, for instance. Like no one has come out and said anything about Gimmer right now, right? Like I'm not saying Gimmer's innocent, but just like it's this dude who claimed these other stories happens to be right about one of them.
And it's not the main person either. Like
yes.
I would if Samaya herself came out and said something, I feel like I would give it a lot more. To me, it's the same dude who has been vindictive over. I mean, if you go through his timeline, you can see him literally always shit talking anything VG Bootcamp is doing. He's a vindictive guy. So I can't tell if this vindictive like shriek is for good or if he's just doing the same thing to try to throw more shade at Gimmer. I have to wait and see. That's all I can really say on that one. So you have to wait and see.
It's 100% a wait and see story. I don't think people should be painting Gimmer in a bad light until something comes out. Because right now, we don't really know what's going on. So to just instantly think that he's bad is not the way. Even if he is, like, it's not the way until you get more proof. I think a lot of people need to start thinking for themselves and stop letting others dictate how they should feel, how they should think. Don't be sheep anymore. You gotta use your own common sense. Everyone has their own brain to think about stuff, Start using it.
Yeah. So, we're gonna probably talk about that a little more, but we obviously got to talk about the other subject of actually, just lighter subject. Min Min came out. How do you feel about her? I think that she's fun, but I don't know if she's good. However, I do feel like she can steal some stocks after like 2 hits into like the megawatt. So I don't know, man. Like her style is not for me. I'm not really a zoner type, but it's for what I've been doing as far as like playing my viewers and stuff. I've been kind of doing some work.
I think if someone like dedicates himself to learning the character, that she's probably, I could see her getting top 8 at a major, maybe even win, depending on like where the meta takes her. I don't know if anyone wants to do that though, because that means you have to give up your own character to like learn this one, because she's so vastly different, because you have to think differently about the A and B buttons, because it's like she has different punches and stuff. But I think she's got really funny tricks. Like that megawatt nair is so good. That is like, that's what Cloud's nair wish he thought it was. And then she's got that trick where she like can like, what do you even call it? Forward air, forward tilt, mid air punch. You hit their shield mid air with one of the punches, and then it's plus. It's plus on block, which is not a thing in Smash. And so it allows you to be able to do other things, and you can cancel it into like an up B. So she's definitely got some huge gimmicks going on. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I think she gets kind of messed up at a shield. I think when you start to pressure her, she has problems on the defense. But yeah, that's my thoughts on her. I think she has the power to do stuff, but I don't think she's going to be like the top 5 character or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, we're gonna get to our Twitter questions real quick, and then we're gonna move on after that. We'll probably have some more stuff to talk about next week. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to these Twitter questions. Up first, we got what was that? Ernest Invisible. He says, "Do you think there should be separate age U18 and adult for Smash tournaments? Do you think do the current tournaments normalize adults hanging out with kids, or would giving them separate events could help solve that?" I think that's a bad idea because like you can't age gate stuff like that. Like that's like age gating a convention. You know what I mean? Like you can't say MomoCon is 18 plus. There's going to be 18 plus areas, obviously, but for the bulk of the area, anyone can walk around and do whatever they want to do. Same thing with a concert. Like you can't really age gate a concert if it's like a day. Like if you're going on a Warped Tour or whatever, you can't be like, oh, no, we have the concert for the 18-year-olds and then we have the concert for the adults. Yeah, you can't really do stuff like that. But I don't think it really normalized. I think there's just people who have not grown up and they need to like what needs to be normalized is picking your friends based off of age, basically. Like there's no issue with having a rival that is of younger age than you, whatever, if y'all play the same character or some shit like that, you see each other in tournament all the time. But to take that rivalry and turn it to a friendship where you guys are like hanging out outside the tournament stuff, that's a little weird, and that needs to stop.
I do know the Pokemon company runs Pokemon events that like 2 different leagues. Like they have like they have the junior league and then the 18 plus league. But those like while that's happening, I believe those events happen in the same venue on the same day. So it's just purely from like a competition front. So I think it's too hard to enforce. It's just it's going to split the community. It's going to make events lose money. So maybe enforcing parents to come. I don't know. Like I don't know what the solution is. I think we just gotta hold people accountable more. Yeah, we pretty much dove into this earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Fingeldritz says, "How optimistic are you about the future of the community? As someone who just goes to local sometimes, I never have thought these issues ran so deep at all levels. Do you think that we could set a good precedent for esports to clean up their communities?" I think that after this, I mean, there probably will be a nice little dip of sexual misconduct. Everyone should be afraid everyone will probably be afraid to get called out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's going to be the back of a lot of people's minds, especially predators who may have not been called out already. So now there's going to be, hopefully, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but hopefully there's going to be a lot more thought process behind doing shady shit. Now I get, slide in the DMs so you can shoot your shot when it's like, something that you could have said on the TL. Understandable. being able to take a no is a big thing. Like you can shoot your shot and get rejected, and also realizing that maybe you shouldn't be in there shooting shots is something that like you also need to think of. And I feel like as of late, maybe a lot of people will be a little more conscious of that. Hell, I'm conscious of it and I haven't done anything. Like I'm existing and I'm still conscious over the fact that like, you know, of stuff that I've done older, you know, when I was younger, when I was like 20 or like 23, like I think about this stuff like, oh, did I make someone uncomfortable or whatever like that? But for the most part, like all the people that like I've been friends with earlier, I'm still friends with now. So it's just it's I want to have high hopes, but I am also on a wait and see type deal.
I like to think I'm optimistic about it.
Hmm.
I think people can and will learn from this. Even people who have not done anything, like you said, are thinking more about what their actions can be interpreted as, you know? Like, oh, maybe
Hmm.
that thing I said to them, even though that was not my intent, could make that person feel uncomfortable. Just the fact that you're starting to become aware of what you say and how people perceive it is a step in the right direction.
Noisy and Quiet says, do you think Ultimate's competitive scene has a place in the immediate future where COVID cases are constantly rising and a word of vaccine is pretty much MIA? And word of a vaccine, okay. Do you think Ultimate competitive scene has a place in the immediate future? I mean, Ultimate doesn't have to die. We still have online. It may not be the best, but there's still a lot of online warriors. So, yeah, I'm not really. The thing is, like, I'm not concerned about that right now. Like, I think that for as long as the game keeps getting updates, people are going to continue to play. It's nice to see that Smashers are getting into, or Ultimate players are getting into other shit. I've been playing a lot of Rivals lately, you know, but that doesn't mean that like I'll never play Ultimate again. I'm always going to be hyped to see the next character that gets put in the game. I'm always hyped to see another patch. I'm always hyped to see someone playing, you know, underdeveloped characters and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about Ultimate for like the next year to two. You know, if we get to 2022 and we're still stuck in the house, then yeah, maybe I'll start worrying. But as of right now, like I'm straight on Ultimate.
There's no way it'll die like anytime soon, like you said. In the immediate future, like no, there's not gonna be any local tournaments, obviously, because of COVID exploding and America dropping the ball on it. But with Smash Online, like Ultimate in general, it's such a huge IP. You got to think about all of the people that play this game that have never attended a tournament, that will play this game online, that will log on to Elite Smash. How fast does it take you? How long does it take you to find a match in Elite Smash? You know, like it's like instant, right? It takes you like less than 15 seconds to find a match. As long as that stays true, the game won't die. You know, that's how I see it. Like look at these other games that like you jump into rank, you hop into rank. I don't know, like Blaze Blue. You know, you jump into rank in that game, you can't find a match, or it takes a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that game is not considered dead. So then you go into Smash where you can find matches instantly. The game's fine, especially with more characters coming out. People will always be hyped for new characters, even if they're not characters that they don't find themselves exciting. Someone will find the character exciting, and they will play the game.
Yeah. Nat Nas says, "How can we forgive terrible people, man? Don't you don't? It's not. I mean, it's not really in your place. The only person that really needs to be forgiving them is the person who got abused. We're just kind of here. We get to see the story and make our own judgment, but you don't have to forgive anyone if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you just if you feel like someone is that shitty, then just never talk to them again. You know.
I think there's this thing in the human psyche where people like want to they have to keep people in their lives no matter what they do, you know? And it's like I think people need to understand that it's okay to distance yourself from people that make you feel uncomfortable, that wronged you, and wait for them to apologize to you. And then when they do apologize to you specifically, then you make the decision if you forgive them or not. If you don't forgive them, if you can never forgive them again, there's so many people on this planet Earth that you could like just hang out with. Like it's so nice to meet new people. So replace the shitty people with good people. You know.
Um, Ross the Pasta says, "What's your current views on the Smash community, and what would you change in order for the betterment of the people?" Um, Smash community is trash right now for sure. Um, and the only thing that I can do for the betterment of the people is to continue to we can just continue to call out abusers and pedophiles and you know manipulators and all that good shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You pretty much just took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. Power MKM says, as someone who is only in the online scene, what can I do to help combat horrible things that happen in the offline scene? Continue to call out people. If you see it, I don't really know, man, because like a lot of the stuff has happened offline, with the exception of DMs and stuff. But I don't know, just like to me, I feel like the biggest thing is just set an example and leading by example. Like if you are like one of those guys that are like, all right, man, I will not molest, I will not sexually assault, I will not do any of that shit. Then you also need to hold other people around in your close circle accountable, and they need to hold people in their close circle accountable and things like that. And so it becomes a trickle down effect of people holding other people accountable, until you have to eventually probably call them out or something.
On top of that, if you feel like too intimidated to call them out, like in person, then you can always report them to your TO, and then hope if their TO is good, they will handle the situation. And if the TO doesn't do anything, then you complain about the TO. Like keep going higher and higher until something gets done. Like as long as you continue to complain about something that's not right, like take it to the online level, like get people's attention, put people's, especially now with people are like zoning in on the terrible things that are happening in the community. Like just if you see something, say something. Like that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. What was that, Yoho? Or I think that's like, yeah, Yo001 or Yoho maybe. Do you think the scene will have a reformed code of conduct before a major start back up again? See, this is the thing. I just talked about this earlier. I don't really think the scene needs a code of conduct, but unfortunately, because we still have man children, we do need a code of conduct. I don't know if it needs to be reformed. I haven't really read it myself because it's like I know how to conduct myself. But I feel like we are. I feel like we have probably a good enough code of conduct where at the point it probably gets the main point across. Don't do things without consent. Stop harassing people. You know what I mean? Like stop being bullies and stuff like that. All that is probably in there. So do we need a reformed code? Whatever the rules are, it won't matter if people won't follow them. So that's the real issue. Is I think that if people aren't going to follow them, then it doesn't it doesn't really matter. So reforming it doesn't mean anything if people won't look at it. And I think at that point in time, maybe the consequences need to be reformed more than the actual code of conduct. So just to make an example out of someone does something minor, just something minor enough. I don't know. Fucking gets a little too overly crazy in the DMs. Ban them for 3 months, bro. You know what I mean? Ban them for 6 months. That way you're sending a message that like, oh, okay, well, we're definitely not fucking playing around anymore about this. And maybe it will send a message to other people that y'all need to calm down. But who knows, man? People, this shit has been going on for so long, and a lot of people who were virtue signaling actually were shitters themselves. So it's kind of hard to, wonder if this is going to help or not.
I think it's gonna help only because I look at the comments of just Puppy's tweet, of just Puppy. Like there's so many comments on all of them that are just awful comments, and so talking about just saying terrible things to the person, the victim. And there's people out there, like multiple people out there, like trying to like, no, you're wrong. And so it shows that there's something wrong with the community. So I think that's why we need the code of conduct, and they do take this stuff seriously. I'm pretty sure. I don't know anyone that's on it. I don't pay attention to like who makes the calls or whatever, but they have just the existence of it. I think helps. Just the fact that there is something like, hey, we're keeping an eye on this. We're like kind of like a Soweto neighborhood watch type thing,
Yeah. And I'm thinking about it, the fact that like I don't know if Sleepy K was on the code of conduct or if he was just a very, very big advocator of it. But like for him to be so in tune and intertwined with the code of conduct to then have that shit come out, like that to me showed me that it can be anyone, So yeah, we really have to, I mean, it's the code of conduct and also holding people accountable. Those have to go hand in hand. Thane H53 says, if you had to choose a community you want to be part of, which one, or would you rather be part of dozens of communities rather than a single community? Well, I already am doing the multiple community thing, so kind of answer itself. I never wanted to be seen as just I never want to be seen as one of the like of just the one trick. That is like I definitely grew with Smash, obviously, but I've done multiple Smash games and I've done multiple games in general. So yeah, I mean, I like I might not be as invested into like the Tekken community, the Soul Calibur community, and rivals and stuff like that, but I still like being part of them. So yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm obviously part of the Smash community. Didn't want to be a one trick pony either. So I'm also part of like the Dissidia community back when Dissidia was active, and I'm part of the local Grand Blue scene in New York City. So
Yeah.
it's like it feels good to be part of multiple different scenes because it's kind of fun to like compare like the differences
Yeah.
and the similarities, you know.
Joestar asked me, given the state of the community and your honest opinion, do you think it's a good time for newcomers to participate in current competitive events? I answered this actually on Twitter, and I said no. But after kind of talking to people, I think that it's a yes and a no. No, because obviously right now, like we don't know who's all bad yet, and we're never going to find out who's all bad yet because some people still will not speak up, and that is 100% valid. Because yeah, I get like when you're seeing people speak up and you see the first few comments being proof, proof, proof. Like yeah, it's going to make you kind of discouraged to speak up too. But the answer is also yes because we are like we're weeding out, the bad apples, and so hopefully that we'll get to a point where we have way, way, way less bad apples than we originally had. But as of right now, because I don't know the answer to that, I'm still gonna have to say no. The community is not. To me, I said in the tweet that it has not been inviting for a long time to multiple, people. It's not been invited to trans people. It definitely has not been invited to women. Ethnicity wise, it hasn't been that bad. I mean, I feel like we're all over the place when it comes to ethnicity. But yeah, as far as women and trans people, like it has not ever been invited to them. And I keep seeing like I had tweets against from my female friends that were like, "Oh yeah, man, like I streamed Smash like twice." And all these people were coming there saying sexist comments and shit that I just stopped streaming Smash. I'm like, that fucking sucks. You know?
Just literally for existing and being a woman doesn't matter what they do. Like the
Yeah.
problems will be there, and
Yeah.
we'll never truly experience like what the daily shit that they go through. So it's definitely not welcoming to women in this community, and that's something that desperately needs to change.
Yeah. BK Break says, with the recent Smash community at the time, do you think it was never a good community in the first place, or do you think it will never be at this point? Damn, that's kind of deep because like I don't know. I think it was a good community when I jumped in, but then again, maybe shit was going on that I didn't know. You know, like a lot of this stuff I didn't know. So I don't know how to answer that question to be honest. Maybe it was never a good community at all, but at the same time, my experience in the community has been great. Even when I was nothing, I didn't really become like a known figure until 2012. So I was 4 years and nobody, and I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed going to tournaments. I enjoyed making new friends and whatever. But also, I'm a male. Like I'm a black male in Smash community, which is almost like a buff to be honest. But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the struggles that other people had to deal with, and I read them. I see them. I see women talking about like their first few tournaments, they're already getting harassed and shit like that. So I can't really answer it from my perspective, but like at least truthfully. But I guess from my perspective, all I can say was it felt like it was a good community, and now it doesn't. And I don't. And I feel like maybe it can get good, but as of right now, we're just kind of at a wait and see point.
I thought the community was amazing on the local level. Like back when I jumped in Brawl, back when I was in the Midwest, I was a part of the Midwest local scene, and it was really nice over there. Again, I'm a white male, so it's I get that advantage. Then I come to New York, and New York scene's really wholesome. They're very welcoming. I've known these guys for years and years and years, and it's been great. And then you eventually, you go to the majors and stuff like that. And it's cool seeing the homies when you go to like travel and see at like the big online events. It's the online community that I can't stand.
Hmm.
It's
The
people.
online community is definitely trash.
The online community is awful. People who only tweet on Twitter, people who only post on Reddit, people who only talk in Twitch chat. Like, and they don't attend stuff. They don't even play the game. And they're unfortunately part of the community because they participate in it, you know? I think that community needs a lot of help. And I think it's been like kind of with the, especially with COVID happening where everyone's like glued online, you know, it's been made worse because I think we've almost forgotten what it's like to be at a local event. Like, I miss the New York City scene like heavily. And then I find out about all the New York City stuff that just happened recently, and I'm just that throws me through a loop. So the stuff's still happening, but on the general scale, like a majority of it is good, and some of my best friends have come from it. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, um, what is that? We got Sanic41 saying Black Lives Matter has been a prominent campaign in recent months, and with many in the Smash community coming out with traumatizing events they endured in the past. Have you ever been targeted or harassed because of your skin color, or simply put, just targeted, harassed in general? I don't really think I've ever like been targeted in a major way. Where I would specifically say is because of my skin color. But I definitely, when I started getting big in PM, I had to Ask FM, and people would go in during top 8s to like shit talk me or whatever. And the reason I got rid of my Ask FM is because like I realized at the time that I had it that even though I was getting positive messages, a lot of that shit was negative because it was under anonymity. And a lot of my friends also were going through the same thing. Like I would see a lot of women getting shit, like, just got random dudes or random people. And I don't know if those dudes or not, but just be like, oh, you're a slut for, doing this, you're a whore or whatever. And to the point where I was like, well, why are we even putting up with this? This is like, I'm giving people the avenue to be negative and not be held accountable. Like, so I deleted my shit, and I was like, if you want shit talk me, bro, then say it with and put your name on it at the very least. Like, I know a lot of people won't put their face, name to a face. That's why a lot of these people who talk shit usually have anime avatars and stuff like that. But I was not gonna let people just, shit talk me for free. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I've got some harassment at some point in time, but I don't think it was a color thing. I think it was just a immaturity thing and a Smash thing, a child thing, a jealousy thing. I don't know. Never really felt like it was color though.
obviously
I guess, yeah.
I
I
can't
don't.
comment
Yeah.
on
All right. Anyway, my bad. Matt A. Moore says, should we as a community stop normalizing adults in the Smash scene hanging out with young minors outside of tournament venues? How much would this help? Yes, and 1,000 times yes. Please, if you are a 25-year-old male, stop hanging out with 16-year-olds. Please, if you are a 25-year-old female, stop hanging out with 16-year-olds. Please, if you are over the legal drinking age, you shouldn't be hanging out with anyone under 18 unless they're like your sibling or like your sibling's friends. And like that's like pretty much the only way I think I would accept that. I have my friend circle has grown with me in age. When I was 18, I would hang out with 16 to 24-year-olds or whatever. When I was 19, it was 17 to 25-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm 30, if you're not 25 or whatever, or not 25, let's be honest, a little steep. If you're not 22, I probably want to associate with you. Or whatever. Like if you're like 21, you're 19, you're 20, like we don't really have a lot to talk about. Or whatever. Because like, I like to drink. I'm not gonna be the one trying to get minors legally drunk or anything like that. And if I am hanging out with you and you're 22, but you have 19-year-old friends, then yeah, man, I'm down to, I'll hang out because by proxy. But once you leave, that person has to leave too. I just, what I mean? Like me and these 16, 17-year-old will not be hanging out. Like that's not what's happening. So,
I'll play Smash with them. Like,
yeah,
in
I'll play
the
Smash
venue.
Like, well, we can do that in the venue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you won't be coming back to my hotel room, like, yo, I heard you got a setup in there. I do, but like, it's not for you. Like, that's not. Yeah. I do have a setup. I have a setup at all times.
But, yeah, like, I do. And then you just turn around.
Yeah. So God. I just, that needs to stop happening. That needs to stop happening. I don't know why any person close to my age wants to be hanging out with any person that is. I put it like this. I was talking to Tori about this today. I could have had a kid at 20. Not to say that I got anyone pregnant at 20 or whatever, but like I'm just saying, like that could have been something I
That's
had.
news to me.
What?
No, go ahead.
What the? Shut up. Anyway, I could have had a kid at 20, right? If I had a kid at 20 right now, me and my kid could enter doubles, and we probably could win some shit. You know what I mean? Now, to think about the fact that someone close to my age will want to be hanging out with my kid is fucking gross. Like that's fucking gross. So, nah, I'm good. Like I'm good. Like I can't see it. I can't see it by any means. For me to be hanging out with anyone under the age of legal drinking age after the tournament is over. So, yeah.
Agreed. Same thing. Like, no way.
Anyway, we ran a little long today. Sorry, guys. We had one more question about the gamer stuff. I'd already talked about the gamer stuff, so you had to go find a little earlier. Also, the tweet that has been references from January 17th. So this has been talked about before. I don't know why it's coming up again now in July. But hey, man, hopefully this time Gamer will have a better statement or something. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's gonna happen. So, yeah, bro. I appreciate you guys being part of this. I'm going to swap over to Blast Zone and be talking about the same shit over again, most likely, but except this time with Coney and EE. So definitely step through for that. It's going to be on the twitch.tv/Coney channel. Guys, if this is your first time to Hard Reads, we do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m., assuming that we have enough good stuff to talk about. We took off a Wednesday last week because, whatever. But, yeah, we're back. Make sure you come through every Wednesday, 6 p.m., hit the follow button. I tweet about it. If you ever want to get your questions answered, make sure you find my tweet where I ask for questions, usually on a Wednesday. And I appreciate you guys for listening to our message. I appreciate you guys for following the message, if you follow the message. And if you aren't a shitty person, then I appreciate you too. Any final words, Austy?
Echoing your statements, man. I really appreciate everyone. Just like it's good to see good people in the community that care about subjects like these, right? And this was just a really good. This was good for me. Just having this episode, being able to physically talk about it and not just type about it. It felt really good. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for us, man. Make sure you can watch this whole episode, or you can listen to this whole episode again. You watch it on my YouTube, or you can listen to it again at all the prediction channels. We have a Spotify, we have a Apple Music, and there will be a Reddit post about it very soon. So until then, guys, stay safe, keep fighting the good fight, and I'll see you next time.